this is where I've been for the past few months. A Pennsylvania suburb about 50 miles north of Philly. And in many ways, this place feels foreign to me. The lack of sidewalks, the farms right next to the manicured suburban homes, and way too many of these. And yet, in many ways, this town feels familiar. I mean, I grew up in a suburb of a city in the northeast, too, Mamaroneck, New York, about 40 minutes train ride from Grand Central, a trip I would take almost every weekend in high school. I'd get into that packed train station that just shouts, "City!" And it felt so right. My band and I, we would go downtown or to Brooklyn to play a gig, and wow, we thought we were punk, and wow, we thought that city was ours.
I got an ass like Madonna!
But it wasn't really our city. We were just visitors, frequent interlopers from the outside, from the suburbs. When I returned from a morning quarantine walk, I saw a newspaper with the headline, "As America Diversifies, Bucks County Stays 88% White." Did that one go? And I thought, yeah, no surprise there. I mean, when people try to refer to white communities, they codedly will often refer to as suburban communities. And obviously not all suburbs are white dominant. And so I decided to check out the census data for Mamaroneck this morning, and it was 63% white, which was honestly less than I expected. But I think that expectation kind of talks to the pervasiveness and dominant structures that whiteness held in my hometown and in many of these suburban communities. Yeah. Many of these communities. I wonder how my parents marked my sister and I down on those forms. My mother is Turkish from Turkey, and my father is native Nanticoke from modern-day Delaware. So whenever I fill out those forms, I normally just check off mixed, because I think that's the best brief summation for all of that. But probably when I was growing up, I probably would have just put down white. I mean, clearly I present as white, and I have gotten a lot of privilege because of that, and to an extent that's true for both of my parents. Less so for my sister. I remember in our home suburb, in schools, there on multiple occasions, Spanish teachers would try to speak to my sister in Spanish. We don't speak Turkish either. By friends, we were sometimes referred to as Turkish, never as native, and most commonly as British. We were born in London, and to these folks in these white-dominated spaces, that made a lot more sense to them. I mean, we weren't actually from Turkey. We weren't actually from the land of the Tidewater people. Yeah, we knew that. We all played into it. My parents knew that, and I mean, we assimilated to that suburban lifestyle. We felt we could fit in there, and I mean, we did. Like so many white, or in my case, white-presenting suburban families, race wasn't something that came up all too frequently in conversation, and I wish it had. I mean, I sat there and I would succumb to these implicit ideas of white dominance in this suburb without questioning them or questioning my role within them. I mean, I could pretend that I was fighting against it with my band of queer musicians as we would escape that suburb into our city on the weekends, but I know full well that everyone else in that band was white, and we had no idea what we were fighting. I'd be fooling myself to think that these white suburban communities didn't shape me, didn't forever confuse how I see myself in community. But now's the time to question that. To question our multitude of communities, question our upbringings, question where our beliefs come from. Online recently, I've been seeing a lot of black folks and Latinx folks and other people of color sharing some pretty atrocious stories from their time at Mamaroneck High School. Some of them my friends who didn't share these stories with me at the time, probably because I wasn't questioning enough. I was just there, a part of it. But right now, this morning, there is a campout and protests at Mamaroneck High School to fight against these. And I'm just here. This play wasn't done when I recorded it. This play isn't done. It's just a questioning, hopefully walking towards something.